The Galactic Council had made their position abundantly clear: humanity's military forces were too dangerous, too unpredictable, and far too creative in their application of violence. After the incident at Proxima Station, where human Marines had somehow weaponized a coffee maker and 3 rolls of duct tape, the Council issued Decree 7749, all human military personnel were hereby banned from participating in interstellar conflicts. Ambassador Chen had signed the treaty with a smile that made the Valorian delegation nervous, though they couldn't quite articulate why. 6 months later, the Krell Empire made their move, launching a systematic invasion of the resource-rich Outer Rim territories. The Council's peacekeeping forces crumbled within weeks. The Krell were methodical, overwhelming, and utterly confident in their superiority. That's when humanity deployed their secret weapon. Introducing the Terran Financial Compliance Force, Ambassador Chen announced at the Emergency Council session, her smile even wider than before. Not a single soldier among them, as per our agreement. The Council representatives exchanged confused glances. The Valorian Prime Minister's tentacles twitched with unease. The first wave of accountants arrived in the contested zones aboard unarmed transport ships. They wore business attire, carried tablets instead of rifles, and requested nothing more than access to local databases and filing systems. The Krell commanders laughed. They stopped laughing after 72 hours. Margaret Hoffman, CPA and former IRS auditor, had been assigned to the Krell supply depot on Epsilon 7. She didn't fire a single shot. Instead, she filed 14,000 compliance violations against the depot's logistics network, each one requiring immediate review and documentation under the Galactic Commerce Treaty that the Krell themselves had signed decades ago. Within 2 days, not a single supply shipment could legally move without clearance. Krell soldiers on the front lines found themselves without ammunition, food, or medical supplies. Not because the supplies didn't exist, but because they were trapped in bureaucratic purgatory. Every requisition form is missing signatures from authorized personnel, Margaret explained cheerfully to the increasingly frantic Krell quartermaster. I'm afraid I'll need those corrected, in triplicate, with appropriate notarization from a council-certified official. The nearest one is about 6 star systems away. I can wait. Meanwhile, Gerald Park, formerly of the Securities and Exchange Commission, had discovered something fascinating about Krell war funding. Cross-referencing public records with transaction timestamps, he'd identified 4,700 instances of potential insider trading in Krell military contracts. The Galactic Commerce Enforcement Division, a previously toothless organization, suddenly had grounds to freeze every financial account associated with the Krell war machine pending investigation. An investigation that Gerald estimated would take approximately 18 to 24 months to complete, if everyone cooperated fully. The Krell didn't cooperate fully. Gerald filed additional charges for obstruction. The investigation timeline doubled. The true masterstroke came from Jennifer Wu, a tax attorney who'd spent 20 years finding loopholes in Earth's most convoluted tax codes. She'd read the Galactic Warfare Convention, all 40,000 pages of it, and discovered that the Krell had violated Section 19,847, subsection C, paragraph 12, failure to properly declare captured territory as taxable assets within the required 14-day period. The penalties were retroactive. The Krell Empire suddenly owed the Galactic Council approximately 4 trillion credits in back taxes, penalties, and interest. Their options were simple: withdraw from all contested territories and negotiate a payment plan, or face complete economic sanctions from every council member state. 3 weeks after the accountant's deployment, the Krell sued for peace. The surrender was signed in Conference Room 7B of the Galactic Council headquarters, a windowless chamber that smelled faintly of recycled air and desperation. The Krell Supreme Commander sat rigid in his chair, mandibles clicking with barely suppressed rage, as Ambassador Chen slid the final documents across the table. You haven't defeated us in honorable combat, the commander growled. You've buried us in paperwork. Chen's smile could have powered a small star. The council banned our soldiers, Commander. They said nothing about our accountants. We simply found alternative methods of conflict resolution. As the Krell delegation left, the Valorian Prime Minister approached Chen, tentacles writhing with what she'd learned to recognize as respect mixed with terror. Ambassador, the Prime Minister said quietly, perhaps we should discuss amending certain clauses in your treaty restrictions. Perhaps we should, Chen agreed. Though I should mention, we haven't even deployed our lawyers yet. The Prime Minister's color shifted to a pale gray. Humanity had learned an important lesson: sometimes the most powerful weapon wasn't a gun. Sometimes it was a spreadsheet, a filing deadline, and someone who really enjoyed reading the fine print. The galaxy would never underestimate human creativity again.